All right, everyone, welcome. Go ahead and get started here. Let's open up today's class with reciting a prayer for spiritual workers. Then we'll move into announcements, and then we'll move into chapter 11 of the book, The Miracle Kit Behind the Power of Prayer. Prayer for spiritual workers. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their limitations, would smite me. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their weakness, would not heed me. Almighty God, I bless all those who, because of their ignorance, would defile you through me. And I ask, Almighty God, O wondrous power, that your strength may be given to me now, so that I might be fortified by this, so that I might go forward bravely into the world, and despite reception, send forth my love of thee throughout all races of man. Almighty God, give me the power and strength to rise above my karmic weakness, the deficiencies in the pattern of my evolution, so that I might evolve and become stronger, I, and even stronger, in thy everlasting light. O God, thy will be done. All right. Once again, welcome everyone to class 13 of our celebration and review of the new book released by Mr. Nehemiah Davis, The Miracle Kit Behind the Power of Prayer. We are just about finished reading through almost the entire book. I decided to leave out chapter 9 for an in-person seminar. Actually, let me put it back up so you can see what I'm looking at. Right, so the Miracle Kit Behind the Power of Prayer, this mystic knowledge of manipulating the subtle cosmic energies of prana through prayer techniques. Today we'll be reading through chapter 11. I did receive some feedback from last session, so I will slow it down a bit. Someone mentioned that I read a bit too fast, so I'll go a bit slower. And chapter 11 is about 17, 18 pages. So if we don't get through all of it today, we'll continue next week. That'll bring us into November. And then after we finish chapter 11, we'll have in the subsequent session, we'll have a review and a Q&A session. So any questions or comments you've had about the material that we've covered so far in the text, those first 11 chapters, and you'll feel free to ask those questions and bring up those comments in that review session. I'll also go back through the book and find a higher definition version of some of the diagrams and illustrations that were used in the book. But in this PDF version that we got from the publisher, the illustrations didn't come out so well. So I'll look for those diagrams, illustrations, and we'll go through those in that Q&A session. And then the next session, subsequent session after that, will be the Mystic Prayer Technique seminar. And we'll cover chapter 9, and we'll also do that in person. That seminar will be held at FIU, Florida National University, in the meeting room that we used to meet in a few years back. I'll post a post on MeetUp with those meeting instructions and directions. So you can go to our MeetUp page and you can RSVP for that if you plan to attend in person. I may also broadcast it online. I'm not sure how I'll be able to work that, doing the seminar and operating the camera, but we'll figure it out when I get there. And then that will conclude our celebration of the release of the new book from Mr. Nehemiah Davis, The Miracle Kit Behind the Power of Prayer. If you do plan to attend in person, I would highly recommend you picking up a copy of the book beforehand, so that if you'd like to have the author himself autograph your book, you will be there available. We can arrange that for you. So that won't be until either November 10th or November 17th. You know, it depends on how much we get through chapter 11 today. I have left out chapter 12, which is the personal stories of prayers, the power of prayer. The author included that as a final chapter in the book. I've let that out so that you guys can read that yourselves. And if you do come attend the Mystic Prayer Seminar, we can hear some prayers from the author himself, some additional stories from the author himself, as well as recount any additional personal experiences from the attenders and so forth. Okay, so before we start today's session, oh, and briefly too, we still have the South Florida group for the Dear Society. So if you're interested in participating in our 12 blessings weekly services, our weekly 12 blessing services, as well as our commemoration services that we hold, you can join us on MeetUp as well, and there you'll find information to join either online or in person. Okay. So do we have any questions or comments before we jump into chapter 11? And yes, and we will. I forgot to mention, we will also probably in the seminar, we'll do a study of a couple prayers, the New Lord's Prayer, the Prayer for Spiritual Workers that we use beginning end of class, and we'll practice the 12 blessings together. So we'll go over the prayer technique. We'll demonstrate the prayer technique, and then we'll practice the prayer technique using the collection of prayers given to us from the Aether Society via the Cosmic Masters. All right, if there are no opening questions or comments, let's jump right into chapter 11. And again, I'm going to take it a bit slower this time. And therefore, it may take up the entire session with chapter 11. If it does, that's great. If not, and we have to continue on next time, that'll be okay as well. But I think I should be able to cover it today. Yeah. Or maybe push it across 2 sessions. Well, we'll see. We'll see how far we get by 1:30. All right, chapter 11. Love energy, the carrying agent for prayer. My understanding of the mystic love energies came into focus for me from several events recorded in history, describing the demonstrations of how masters of the past use these energies in their daily lives. For example, some 2,000 years ago, the Master Jesus reportedly healed soldiers that had come to arrest him after his disciple Peter pulled out a sword and cut off one of the soldiers' ears. The Master Jesus, without hesitation, reattached the soldier's ear while voicing the now famous quotation, Peter, those who live by the sword shall die by the sword. This truly is a demonstration of impersonal love on a level that most people cannot begin to understand unless they have studied the mystic treatise on love energy from the books that describe these mystic truths, like the book The Nine Freedoms, written in the early 1960s by Dr. George King, a Western yogi master. Looking at the Master Jesus' actions here, you have a man coming to arrest him, but he was able to see through human personal emotional limitations and recognize the impersonal love that God and the gods and share with all life, irrespective of their position in life or actions toward life. The Master Jesus' samadhi state of raised consciousness allowed him to see past the karmic limitations that make up mankind's cycles of experience wrapped in a state of Maya, illusion, giving him, Master Jesus, the power to see every individual life as an involved divine spark of God, placed in a state of experience cycles of reincarnation. The Master Jesus understood that despite the temple guard soldiers' aggressiveness towards him, they were only fulfilling the karmic lessons placed before them to work out their built-up negative karmic samskara, probably over lifetimes of incarnations. By this time in the Master Jesus' life, he was an awakened cosmic master, a bodhisattva, and knew the divine laws of karma, action, and understood the preservational power of love that sustains all actions. Another version of this story is that when the soldiers came to arrest the Master Jesus, he asked them, "Who dost thou seek?" One of the soldiers replied, "Jesus of Nazareth." The Master Jesus answered, "It is I." And the soldiers reportedly fell dead from his answer. Then this gracious Master of love, Jesus, called the soldiers back from the dead. This version of the story continues by saying that the Master Jesus once again asked them, "Who dost thou seek?" Once more, Jesus stated, "I am he," and the soldiers attempted to fall dead again, but the Master Jesus made a demand for them to finish their task, to leave his disciples alone, and that they came for him, so take him, only him. Love energy is the ultimate preservational energy force in the universe. The greatest quality of love energy is that it sustains the flow of all energies. It is the preservational force behind all things, from the lowest to the highest level of creation. When you love a person, your natural tendency is to bend over backward to take care of that person. When you love an object, the same natural tendency manifests itself to take care of that object and preserve it. Love is everywhere. It is one of the primary principles of Shakti. In fact, within ancient mystic science, it has been stated that we live by the grace of God. This grace of God has been described as the love of God. Another ancient statement is, "The love of God never fails," which actually means that all energies in creation are preserved in their cycles of operation by the preservative energies we call the love of God. To give it a precise definition, love energy preserves the patterns of mental energy and matter in a time frame of karmic pressure. all energies rely on the power of love energies in order to truly demonstrate their power while in motion and maintain and preserve the continuous operation of the energy flows. In ourselves, all thought forms produced from any level of consciousness remain in an active state of mind substance by the power of love energy before it sinks back into the auric bodies as samskaras. Even samskaras, scars on the aura, need love energy to maintain their pattern of existence. The success of a prayer practitioner is measured by their ability to harness love energy and project these pranas or subtle prayer energies laced with purpose and directives with love energy configurations. Love energies are the most powerful and greatest energies within manifestation and on all levels of existence. Love energy is one of the creative forces of the universe. It holds the very fabric of the universe together. Therefore, love energies are an essential component of the mystic prayer method. One of the most important things about this form of mystic prayer that is used to manipulate the subtle pranas consciously to bring about prayer results is the nature and behavior patterns of love energies. Excuse me. It is the ultimate preservational energy force of the universe. Yes, as I stated in earlier chapters, the power of love is definitely an energy that is being utilized throughout the universe. Love energy is a universal energy source that is all-pervasive and used as a preservative source. Love energies are the most powerful and greatest energies within manifestation and exist on all levels of existence. All energies rely on the power of love energies in order to truly demonstrate their power while in motion and maintain and preserve the continuous operation of the flow of energies. The preservational power of love. The knowledge we would like to convey in this chapter is the great preservational power of love energy, which in metaphysical circles is seen as a creative preservational power or energy that acts as a carrying agent for all subtle energies, including the power that is projected through prayer. Love energy is a primordial creative energy used to hold and preserve all creation in a manifested state of being. It is a neutral force in life that preserves all life on all levels, irrespective of its nature. Love energy is an impersonal energy. It is that force used to introduce a time cycle on everything in creation. The love that basic men refer to as love is not the true love we are advocating here. The love that basic man displays in his emotional, lustful, jealous, and selfish actions are states of being that he calls love. This is not the true love energy that we are writing about in this chapter. Man's basic emotions are a result of his basic state of mind in the fabric of Maya, illusion, that we live in. Displaying our artificial reflections of perceived reality. In the mid-1950s, a modern yogi metaphysician, Dr. George King, came on the scene, mostly in the background, but brought to light mystic modern explanations to a great deal of metaphysical secrets and mystic knowledge. The subject of love energy is one of the many things that he expounded on and brought a modern metaphysical perspective to the subject. Dr. George King described love energy as a third-degree creative force within manifestation, sustaining and preserving manifestation in various cycles of consciousness as we know it. He explained that the initial creative force is the divine will of the Absolute, or God, a power that brings original potential into being. The second degree of this creative force binds the original potential together, bringing about manifestation. The third degree of the creative force is the love energy, a preservative force that sustains all life in manifestation in various levels and cycles of consciousness. The table below lists the initial creative Shakti principles, where you can clearly see the Ananda Shakti principle, which is the love energy that the master of yoga, Dr. George King, speaks about in his teachings. Table 11-1, the initial creative Shakti principles. Number 1, Vyana as Shakti principle. Vyana, initial creative knowledge wisdom, is a creative, intelligent, universal principle of Shakti life force that aids all pervasive mind energies in molding creation. Number 2, Chitti as Shakta principle. Chitti, initial creative, all-pervasive mind energies, is a Shakti principle of universal mind energies used to mold and hold all energies and matter into patterns of expressed life forms, inanimate and animate, from the micro level to the macro levels of life. Number 3, Ananda as Shakti principle. Ananda, initial creative all-pervasive love energies, is a Shakti principle that acts as a blissful state of preservative energies source throughout the universe. This preservative energy acts as a carrying agent for all subtle and gross energies within the universe. Number 4, Prana as Shakti principle. Prana, all-pervasive energy, is the initial creative primary subtle energy that pervades the whole universe and operates on all frequency levels of creation on every realm of existence. It utilizes the power of the other 3 creative Shakti principles in order to move into operation and stay in operation. Love is one of the primary energies of creation, and it is energy from the original potential and can pull from the original potential. This creative cosmic love is a preservational power. Therefore, love energy is above mind. Mind holds matter together. Love preserves mind and matter in its blended state of manifestation. Love energy is a creative, dynamic power that manifests time cycles. Excuse me. Love is the power and energy that links all life together. It is part of all things. Love is also a transmuting power. Love allows manifested life to transmute over a duration of time cycles, be it 1 second of time or 100 years of time. The highest state of love energy in operation is impersonal love energies. Pure love energy operates totally as an impersonal power. It is this attribute within love energy that allows it to make changes or transmute something from one vibrational state to another state. It is the power that allows energies and matter to move from one target to another target, or even from a subtle point of view to a mental subject of interest to another subject of interest. Even the basic forms of this love energy resembles a perpetual quality about its nature. The subtle love energy that is properly pulled upon and directed with positive mind energy is the healer of disease. The energy force we are talking about, called love, is a state of the whole being because it is a preservational power. We live by the grace of God, or the subtle, absolute, endless, original potential power behind all creation. Love is the signature power that relates and links us to everything on earth and the universe. The earth sustains all levels of life within its boundaries. The earth sustains our subtle bodies through the resources and the cycles, its radium qualities of the planet Earth, the mighty sun and radiant moon. I think that's the wrong word there. The mixture of all these Mahabindu, radium energies sustains all life forms, subtle and gross bodies. All life forms, subtle and gross bodies. True realization and manifestation of love will have you know that you are connected and related to all life. Teacher and student are linked through the power of pure love. The student will grow in enlightenment from the power of love from the teacher and the student's ability to perceive and link themselves to the stream of love energy from the teacher. The enlightenment of the teacher gives him or her the ability to access the great power of love and use this to express their teachings. All right. Okay, to everyone who just joined us in the last few minutes, welcome. Today we were finishing up chapter 11 of the text, the miracle kit behind the power of prayer. This will be the last chapter we read together publicly. After this, we'll hold a Q&A session and review session, and then we'll hold the Mystic Prayer Seminar, in which we'll go through chapter 9 and we'll practice we'll practice the Mystic Prayer technique and employ a couple of prayers given to us by the Master Jesus and other masters through the Aether Society. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the chat throughout today's reading. And I will stop periodically to glance over at the chat. Oh, thank you, Darren. And either pose your questions or respond to your comments. Okay. Understanding love energy from an impersonal state. True love always operates in an impersonal state of mind. The higher someone's consciousness elevates, the more impersonal their feelings become towards those things they care for without having an emotional attachment to the things they are extending feelings and care towards. A true humanitarian is not moved by politics or overzealous emotional people. The true humanitarian reached this status because of his or her expanded understanding and elevated consciousness to the needs of humanity. True intelligence erodes uncontrolled emotions that bring about unwanted situations. True intelligence is being able to predetermine your actions in order to in order to create the wanted situations that you choose to benefit from and help all related parties involved directly or indirectly, realized or unrealized. Understanding the law of karma. The law of karma governs all manifestations, including the principles that shape and mold mankind's actions on a daily basis. Whether we notice it or not, this law of karma is the framework of all creation. Karma, a Sanskrit term, means action, all actions in manifested creation. Therefore, it can be stated that karma is the laws that governs all actions. We are told from the ancient teachings that before manifested creation, the absolute God existed in a pure static state of endless potential. This static state of endless potential is known as the highest elevated state of existence that we could imagine, a purely sattvic state of being. It is the superior power of God which initiated the first action, karma, through the issuing of the first creative word, known as vak, which brought forward creation or the ability to perform actions. Shiva, the Absolute, is the creative, static, endless state of potential that produces the framework of laws that all actions, manifested creation, are governed by and work within this law of karma. The Absolute, Shiva, spoke the word, and the word was the laws of God wrapped in the holy creative word of the AUM. And from this act of Vak came the endless subtle sonic flow of nada that is continuously repeated throughout the universe by the endless Mahabindus, galaxies, central suns, solar systems, suns, and planets. Oh. These great Maha points, these great Maha points of the compacted center of creative Shakti principles, or Bindus, are known as being intricate parts of God's creative plan. The galaxies, central suns, solar systems, suns, and planets all help to support the creative manifested states of life and sustains life. Karma is the pressure that pushes all aspects of life in the direction that fits their pressurized momentum. The following is a brief perspective on the law that governs man's access to beliefs, knowledge, and wisdom. The accumulated understanding of things builds a system of beliefs and principles that we live by in shaping and molding our small existence within the cosmos. However, in order to gain true knowledge of anything, we must learn to detach ourselves from understanding and the belief systems that we have gained over time. We must detach from our belief systems in order to gain true knowledge, because the true knowledge of something always appears in the absence of basic belief systems formed out of the one-dimensional views of understanding gained in a field of basic scattered consciousness. In other words, knowledge is born out of the dissolution of man's accumulated beliefs gained through man's basic physical sensory perceptions, which filter over 98% of the information being received from the cosmos. Now, the knowledge of things is formed from the alignment of thoughts and consciousness working in sync with each other to uncloud the flow of energies of the aura that formulates the energies that make possible man's ability to think and act. However, here again, you must detach yourself even from this thing called knowledge in order to gain true wisdom. Wisdom comes about in the absence of knowledge, meaning that the knowledge that you have gained helps to shape and mold your actions through life in order to bring about the right conditions and circumstances to allow the auric forces to purify itself to the point where consciousness can be raised to a position where it begins to receive wisdom from the higher realms of its own consciousness. This is the point where perceived knowledge from past actions becomes useless because the awareness that is gained here is from the source which the knowledge originated from. True wisdom can only be gained through the unity with that which you are trying to gain wisdom about. Therefore, wisdom is always received in a state of stillness and silence, void from all that is, but full of the potential of all that you seek and that you will ever seek. It is the point of all knowledge, the point of all potential, and it is the point where all things originate from. It is that great static endless potential of the Absolute or God, where all manifestation comes from. Therefore, true wisdom only comes when you gain the ability to become one with the object, place, or person that you are trying to gain wisdom about. All right. Do we have any questions or comments? Hello, welcome, Felipe. All right, let's continue on. Key components of the mystic prayer that uses love energies. Number one, willpower, manifested as intelligent movement. In the prayer technique, the practitioner falls strictly under the divine laws of the Absolute, God, when he or she calls the great subtle creative forces under its control to do the will of God through becoming an instrument of service to your fellow man. The practitioner imposes its will upon the natural creative forces in order to pull down the endless subtle cosmic energies to mold it into directed spiritual prayer energies. This willpower expressed as an enactment of the initial creative force. The willpower and mental concentration of the prayer technique is an act of spiritual service with an impersonal intent fashioned in selfless spiritual service. The ability to predetermine your actions without selfish intent with this mystic prayer technique is enlightenment in action. Number two, mind power, imagination, and visualization. Imagination is man's creative aspect of their being. It is man's power to mold the energy around himself. When man imagines something, mental explosions produce directed motion of mind substance and subtle energies that animates the creative imagination. The visualization component is the force within imagination that feeds the subtle mental and vital energies of the creative imagination. Multiple vortices of directed motion are created from imagination, and these vortices are sustained by the power of visualization. In this technique of prayer, imagination is used to bring about the right conditions by pulling on the great subtle pranas through correct imagination and visualization. This is done through controlled imagination of visualizing the stream of prana flowing down through you while being impregnated with purpose and direction of prayer and pushing it out to its target. Number 3, cosmic energies. Prana under intelligent control. The mystic prayer technique uses the mystic science of willpower, imagination, and visualization in order to influence and mold the great subtle 5 major energies, pranas, through a vortex of directed mind substance. Imagination and visualization are directed mind substance placed in motion under intelligent control in a series of organized mental clouds. Within the organized mental clouds of imagination are intelligent seeds of mental control that draw on the 5 subtle energies, or pranas, the mahabhutas, the pure nada forces, and pure chitta signatures, which are all used to make up mini vortex centers that feeds the mental clouds of imagination. These energies are molded into directed motion under intelligent control to serve a purpose of imagination and visualization. Number 4, love energies, impersonal intentions. All the above components listed are not possible without love energies being extremely active. The more impersonal the act, the purer the love energies that are present. The mystic technique of prayer works best with love energies. God's love is very impersonal. Anyone or anything can call on the love of God. The key to tapping into this flow of the most holy energies of love is by immersing emerging your mind and actions in an impersonal state of being with no selfish intent. Your full intent should be only to complete your prayer to benefit the person, place, or thing that you are sending the prayer energies to. The mystic prayer energies flow best with love energies. Love energy is that power that moves all energies from one point to the next. It is the grounding factor for transferring energies. When you are building a house or placing electricity within a house, one of the first things you must do is to ground the house. Without this, no electricity can flow through the house. This is done by pounding a steel rod about 8 feet in length into the ground and attaching a copper wire to the ground rod and having this ground wire accompany the charged electrical wires throughout the entire house. Where there is an electrical receptacle, switch, or light, you will find a ground wire. And without it, the electricity will not flow in a stable fashion. This grounding factor law exists also within the subtle flows of energies. The law of transferring subtle energies is that we must immerse our minds in a framework of impersonal love. 5. Pranayama, breath control. Breath retains consciousness in two major types of existence, which are the mental world and the gross physical world. The term used for breath control in yoga science is pranayama. The word prana means vital life forces, energies, or absolute energies. And yama means control. Therefore, pranayama can be defined as the control over vital life energies of man's existence. Now, the mental intent, thoughts, and actions of how you use the breath that retained consciousness builds your karmic pattern and the karmic environment. Number 6, mudra yoga technique, manipulating prana through the aura and body. The word mudra is a Sanskrit word for describing and naming methods that manipulate subtle cosmic energies within the gross, subtle, and mental bodies. Within the nadis are subtle energies pushed into a flowing stream of lines of force from the Kundalini power that configures itself into a matrix of multiple levels of consciousness. The mudra techniques use the head, arms, hands, fingers, legs, and feet, along with mental concentration to seal, redirect, redistribute, and project mental and vital energies within the outside and auric structure. Number 7, speech. Speech invocation. Control of consciousness through sound vibrations. Therefore, the power to invoke sound in a self-conscious state is the manifestation of Kundalini on the physical plane that is used to project this Shakti power into the auric mental fields of other people, places, and things. The spoken word is the manifested mental energies and desires being forced onto the gross mental physical plane of existence to move forward in order to shape and mold the subtle cosmic energies that assist in sustaining the physical plane. All spoken sound is an aspect of Nada Shakti, or Mantric Shakti. The Tantric teachings tell us that once the Shakti power has moved into an involution state of a 3.5 energy configuration that becomes what we call the power of Kundalini, it then releases a Nada power that initiates basic consciousness. This Kundalini power is the instrument of consciousness for the soul of man. Without the power of Kundalini, there is absolutely no life within the body. It is the power and instrument of consciousness that the soul of man uses to manifest itself on several planes of existence in order to gain experience through its many reincarnations, life after life. The dormant state of Kundalini releases a sound vibration, not a Shakti power, that places aspects of the soul's manifested self-consciousness on at least 5 realms of existence. Okay? And pause here for any questions or comments. Okay, let's continue. What are the karmic actions of love energy? Love energy is one of the creative forces of the universe. It is the preservation power of the universe. Love, uh-oh. Love energy sustains all things, from the lowest to the highest level of creation. When you love a person, your natural tendency is to bend over backwards to take care of that person. Excuse me. When you love an object, the same natural tendency manifests themselves to take care of that object and preserve it. Love, being a preservative force of energy, is everywhere. It is one of the primary principles of Shakti. Love energy preserves the patterns of mental energy and matter in a time frame of karmic pressure. All thought forms produced from any level of consciousness remains in an active state of mind substance by the power of love energy before it sinks back into the auric bodies as samskaras. Even samskaras need the love energy to maintain its pattern of existence. Therefore, love energies are an essential component in the mystic prayer method. The practitioner of prayer's success is based on his or her ability to harness and use this love energy in the mystic form of prayer. Love energy is that neutral power that balances the flow of positive and negative energies. This love energy is impersonal by nature, and therefore it is used as an equalizer that filters out distortion and allows the flow of energies being manipulated to travel freely without obstructions or distortions. Love energy is also a neutral energy. As I stated before, this love energy flows freely, unobstructed, when the user grounds oneself with the all-pervasive ways of impersonal love energies that preserves all manifestation. The quickest way to connect to these universal love energies with our mystic prayer technique is through taking on an impersonal state of mind that attracts and immerses us in a true wave of love energy for all things in creation. The nearest and strongest stream of an active flow of love energies comes from Mother Earth, a Mahabindu, a great celestial intelligence that demonstrates this impersonal flow of love energies 24 hours a day. When performing the prayer technique, the practitioner takes on an impersonal state of mind that produces a flow of universal love energy that grounds the practitioner with an unselfish, impersonal flow of energy, which gives us the ability to radiate subtle energies from one part of the Mother Earth to the other side. It is the love energy that the prayer technique uses to move the generated prayer energies from point A, the prayer practitioner, to point B, the person or place the prayer energies are supposed to benefit. The more effective you are in producing and placing love energies in a projected, the more effective you are in producing and placing love energies in the projected prayer energies, the stronger and more radiant the projected prayer energies are. Prana and love energies. The universal life force in all things sustains itself by the power of love energies, preserving its operations. The universal life force of all things, or the vital life force of all things, is the Shakti principle called Prana, being radiated from the one source, the Absolute, and sustained by the universal love energies. Love is that aspect of the Absolute that was activated out of a state of complete static at the beginning of creation, allowing perpetuator movement throughout the universe. Prana is the vital energy or life principle, literally vital air, from the root pran, to breathe. Prana in the human body moves in the pranayama kosa as 5 primary life currents known as Vyana Bhutas, the element of vital airs or winds. When examining the love energies connected to the 5 major pranas, the following are the preservative aspects of prana's natural operations within the body, which is maintaining and sustaining the breath activities by the love energies that permeates the earth and the cosmos. Within the science of pranayama, there is a description of the breath functioning activities, which can be seen as the love energies' preservative effects that correlates with each of the 5 major pranas. Number 1, prana is associated with the outgoing breath, which moves the unwanted air particles out of the body, thereby sustaining or preserving the good life force within the body. This major prana is centrally located within the heart psychic center, Anahata chakra. The energies arranged here are designed to attract the sun tattvic rays, which are designed to give meaning to every subtle particle of energy and every subtle formation of matter in operation. This psychic center forms the subtle bodies of operation and creates a pathway that allows cycles of life to occur. The sound here in the Anahata chakra is used to give and sustain life. The light here in the Anahata chakra is used to ignite the energies of the Manipura chakra. The etheric air, Vyana, here in the Anahata chakra, is used to feed the cells and tissues of the subtle bodies that become the subtle infrastructure for the gross body systems of operation. Number 2, apana is one of the major pranas associated with the incoming breath. It feeds consciousness. This major prana is centrally located at the base of the spinal psychic center, the Muladhara chakra. The configuration of the energies at this Muladhara chakra is arranged to attract Earth's tattvic rays modified from the mighty sun. This chakra houses the Kundalini and produces the nadi lines of force by releasing subtle sound vibrations to carry various degrees of subtle cosmic energies of the Kundalini into a matrix of consciousness. Excuse me. The strength and weight of this apana prana pushes it through the Svadhisthana chakra and Manipura chakra and up to the Anahata chakra, where it quickly falls down from its karmically weighted flow of apana pranas back to its original position. This perpetuated action of men who dwell in states, this is a perpetuated action of men who dwell in states of basic consciousness. This basic level of consciousness calls for constant rebirth between the lower astral realms of existence and the gross physical realm in time cycles while creating conscious states of past, present, and future. Apana pranas molds subtle and gross energies and matter into a functioning vehicle to operate through, which is a major preservative energy of love. Number 3, Vijnana is one of the major pranas associated with the retained breath to sustain and maintain the consciousness and life force within the body. This major prana shows the most active expression of the power of love energies, being that this Vijnana pranas flows throughout the entire body, spreading consciousness and holding the vital energies in place. This major Vijnana prana is centrally located at the sex psychic center, Svadhisthana chakra. And the arrangement and configuration are designed to attract the modified tattvic rays from the sun's concentrated energies that flows through the Mother Earth and modified by the Earth's logos, then used to build, sustain, and maintain the basic consciousness of man. Every atom, molecule, cell, blood drop, tissue, organ, and systems of organs are all radiated and conditioned by the Vijnana pranas to allow consciousness to express itself. These energy patterns help to create a mental matrix that forms and outlines the network of nadis for conscious activities. These nadi lines of force within the auric structure are the flow of positive, negative, and neutral energies that are all governed and controlled by the preservation power of love energies. Number 4, Udana. Udana is one of the major pranas associated with the ascending breath. To feed the expression centers of the 10 sense organs and the 10 senses, which are the head region, the arms, hands, fingers, and the legs and feet. This major prana, Udana, is centrally located within the throat psychic center, Vishuddha chakra. That chakra arrangement of concentrated energies creates the ability to pull on the modifying energies of the sun via the moon. Of the 360 tattvic rays pushed out from the sun, a portion is collected and arranged by the moon, a Mahabindu, to produce the mental realms of operations. These arranged concentrated energies creates the mental platform that allows the transverse of mental thought to subtle and gross matter within manifestation. The mental will creates and expresses mental directed motion from the conscious and unconscious regions of the mind. All of this is done within the time cycles held in place and sustained by the natural love energies of the universe. Number 5, samana. Samana is one of the major pranas associated with the equalizing breath. This is done by the magnetic qualities of this major prana to bring about a conjunction point of all the pranas and create a transforming, transmuting, and manifesting activity of various forms of subtle and gross energies and matter. This samana prana is centrally located at the solar plexus psychic center, Manipura chakra, which has the ability to pull on the sun energies directly. Samana is known to have the qualities of light, heat, and fire because of the arrangement of subtle energies. This arrangement of energies, Surya Tattva, rays, allows a direct pull and flow of the sun's energies. The preserving love energies maintain the cycles of operations for this samana prana flow, which is the main channel that allows a direction of the tattvic rays and matter of the sun within the body and auric structure. Each major prana governs crucial bodily functions, and all bodily energies are modifications of these. Usually, prana refers to the life principle, but sometimes denotes energy, power, or the animating force of the cosmos. Okay. And that completes chapter 11. And we're right on time. So do we have any questions or comments? That'll complete our review of the miracle kit behind the power of prayer, the mystic knowledge of manipulating the subtle cosmic energies of prana through prayer techniques. Again, I invite everyone to pick up a copy of the book themselves. It's available on Amazon or also at the publisher's website. Let me see if I can pull those up really quick. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here it is. Amazon, Google Books, and the publisher's site. So if you look on the meetup announcement, you'll see that there's a couple options for picking up the book. And I'll show them here really quickly. So you have the option of purchasing the book on Amazon, either paperback or Kindle version. And also in the meetup announcement at the bottom, you'll see there's 3 links there. Amazon, Google Books. If you were reading along with us through the preview, I think Google Books has the first 3 chapters available as a preview or something like that. So on Google Books allows you to preview some excerpts from the book. And also in the meetup announcement, there's a link here to Libris. Is it Libris? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And they give you the option of purchasing the book. This is the publisher of the book. Either hardcover, softcover, or an ebook. So you have the options of getting electronic or physical copy. Next time we'll do an open discussion, a Q&A session, and review. So those of you who've been following along or reading along with the text or just attending these sessions, you're free to hop in on the session, ask any questions you may have. I'll go through and review several other illustrations and diagrams that were presented in this version of the book, but were not quite legible. And then we'll have a little discussion there. And then finally, we'll wrap up with the Mystic Prayer Technique seminar, where we'll actually apply these teachings. We'll study a few prayers, like the prayer for spiritual workers, which we recite at the beginning of class, the New Lord's Prayer, which we recite at the end of class, and then we'll all go through a 12 blessing session together. And that'll be in a couple of weeks, held at Florida International University in the classroom that we usually meet. So do stay tuned to MeetUp for that announcement. That should come out. I want to send it out by the end of the day or tomorrow. And then once we finish with the book, we will continue with our review of the earlier lectures. We finished Metaphysics 101. They'll move into a next series. I'll announce that. When we get closer, that may not start until January, because I think we'll finish up November. Next time is the November 3rd. That's the Q&A session and review. And then either November 10th or November 17th, we'll have the workshop. And maybe one more class to close out November before the 24th. That will be 24th is a holiday weekend, so we'll have no class then. And then that will maybe conclude after November 17th for the rest of the year. We may have a class or two in December, I'm not sure. But I do know at least for the next 3 weeks, we will have sessions.
You have all the diagrams, doing?
For this book, maybe either they're scattered somewhere, or I may have to ask you for the ones I don't have.
Ah.
All right. So if there are no final questions or comments, we can wrap up today's session a little earlier. I hope everyone was able to follow along. I tried to read a bit slower today, especially for those of you who are joining us and English may not be your first language. I hope you were able to follow along with today's reading. All right, so let us close out today's session with reciting the New Lord's Prayer. And if you have any ideas or recommendations or suggestions on materials or subjects you'd like us to cover in the future, feel free to email those over to us. Our email address is mysticknowledgecenter, all one word, @gmail.com. You're also free to send us any questions or comments you have that you would like us to address, either privately via email or publicly in a subsequent session. Now let us know, and we'll be glad to answer that for you. Let me see. Bipin, I did receive your email and you received your request. If you can, I need more information from you. So if you can send over a way for us to um, maybe like your address, and I'll reply. We did see your email and we'll respond to your email soon. And I'll send that request over to you directly. Nothing further. Let's go ahead and close out today's session. The New Lord's Prayer. O divine and wondrous Spirit, O everlasting Lord of hosts, send forth now through me thy great and lasting power. Allow me, Almighty God, the lasting privilege of radiating to all the world thy great love, so that those who suffer may be given the power and energy to rise above their weaknesses. Almighty God, in great humility do I ask you to send forth your power, to give to me this great lasting privilege of being a channel, so that my suffering brothers may be helped and guided and healed and lifted into thy light, so that they who know not may look up, and in doing so, receive for their higher selves your divine counsel. Almighty God, this day have you granted me a divine privilege. I ask you now to give to me the strength, so that never again will I turn from my inner vision of you. Oh, great peace, great peace, great peace. In praise of your greatness, O God, doth my soul sing. Grant it energy to sing on forever and forever. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your kind attendance and participation. Again, if you're able to, please check out those links in the meetup announcement and pick up a copy of the text. We will pick up next session with a Q&A session and a review of the diagrams and illustrations. And then after that, it is the in-person Mystic Prayer Technique seminar. I'm not sure if we will broadcast that live or if we may have something else being broadcasted in substitution for the online session. I'll figure that out throughout the coming days. Do stay in tune to your email and to MeetUp for more further announcements. Thank you once again, and we'll see you next time. Take care.